I'm Lisa.
And I'm Jonathan.
And we're Creative for Learning.
Today we're going to show you how to teach students to quit. If
you're like me, you had teachers or coaches or parents telling you the saying, quitters never prosper. Which, sounds encouraging and sounds smart. We believe them. It sounds wise. I think the heart behind it and the idea was good, not wanting to be quitters and like building up strong work ethic and grit, which is great. They're great qualities that we want in our kids and we want in ourselves. But sometimes that may not be the best advice.
Yeah, and we still today, after trying to teach them grit and don't quit for so long, we still have the problem with kids not having enough grit. In fact, I think if we were honest, I've talked mostly with teachers today, we'd say they have more of a problem today with grit. And so something about quitters never prosper isn't doing all that we're wanting it to do. There's still so much softness and willingness to quit, expecting things to come easy to them. I mean, if we've taught them quitters never prosper for so long, hoping that will make them work hard, then why do they want to quit more than ever today, right? Mm-hmm. It's definitely still an issue and something to keep teaching them and ourselves. But as I've been a teacher and gotten older and have my own kids now, I'm learning that I think, like I said, we're going about this possibly in the wrong way. I was reading Seth Godin. He's a really popular blogger and author, a really, really wise dude, a while back. And he was saying winners quit all the time. They just quit the right stuff at the right time. And that really resonated with me. I mean, some of those words in there, they quit all the time. Saying winners quit all the time seems so backwards. But then as I thought about it, it really resonated with me and what I've been feeling for a long time and even teaching my students. And they kind of fight back with me when I teach them, but yeah.
So you use the word grit. How are you defining that word?
I mean, the first thing I think when I think the word grit is like my teeth. Like we say grit our teeth, grin and bear it. Grit, like, let's do this. Mm-hmm. That's what I think. When I think grit, I think the ability to like grunt down and like do the work, without a quitter's attitude. Even if you suck at it, but like that idea of this is really hard and I'm going to get it done is the idea I think of grit. What do you think of grit?
No, I just think I totally snorted.
Besides the breakfast with buttery good grits, right?
No, I think of, because of my upbringing, I think of True Grit with John Wayne. It's a movie, so True Grit. I think he got an Academy Award for that. Anyways, it's funny because while at the same time we've been telling kids to try hard and not quit, and quitters never prosper, we've been giving away trophies to protect them from feeling bad when they tried really hard but they failed.
Everybody gets a trophy.
It's like the opposite of grit.
Yeah, I think there's a contradiction for sure in there. We tell them stick with it and don't quit the team because then you won't get a trophy like everyone else gets. There's something in there that's flawed that made us need to give everybody a trophy. Like something in there, right? And so that's what we're exploring today. I think that, like Seth Godin said, I think what would it look like if we taught kids to quit the right things, right? I straight up tell my middle school students when certain conversations come up, well, maybe you're no good at that. Maybe you are good at that. Maybe you suck at that thing, right? There's no shame in sucking at something. I don't know where we got the idea that we were going to be great at everything. But it's almost like anything we start trying to do, we're supposed to stick with it forever. That's what quitters never prosper tells us. And so I don't know. I know, like my parent, or I've heard parents say, well, if you start the season, at least finish the season. Mm-hmm. And I get that. That's don't quit during the season. But how long is the season? That works really well for a soccer season where it's only 3 months.
Yeah, and I think in that context too, you've paid the money for them to get all the stuff.
So if you've invested, then you should quit and suffer forever instead of.
You said quit and suffer,
or you shouldn't quit and just suffer and stay there forever because you paid money.
Not forever, just until the cleats wear out. Just kidding.
Yeah, see, there's some kind of a contradiction in here, and I don't know where exactly the line is, but I do know that, I would tell them there's no shame in sucking at something. That just means that's not your strength. You've got strengths, lots of them. Maybe they don't even know what their strengths are, and so this is the thing they feel the best at, and they suck at it. Like they need to quit it and use that time to find some things that they're actually good at.
Yeah.
Like I feel bad for, the times in my life where I was doing the thing that I'm okay at this, but it's really the best thing I knew I was good at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as I quit it and found something I was more naturally better at, then I could, strive in that, and it yielded so much more. So yeah, like what if that's just our one weakness?
How would you help your students figure that out, or like what's a context when this came up?
Well, one time I know it came up when we were talking about Simon Cowell and American Idol. Yeah.
Okay.
And they said how they hated Simon Cowell. And I'm like, I get it. Like I get why people don't like Simon Cowell. He has a tone but like if we separate the tone from what he's actually saying, let's be honest, right? There's some of those people on that show that was the first time anybody'd ever told them they sucked at singing. And they're on TV at this point. Like, they needed to be told so long ago in loving words, you can't sing.
You're gonna kill their dream.
But it's okay. Like, it's okay if they love singing. Mm-hmm. Just like I think we're back to self-awareness, right? If I love something, that's great. I don't want to kill somebody's love for something. I don't want anybody to kill my love for something. I can love something I'm not good at, right? Yeah.
I do. The violin.
Yeah.
I do.
Do you love playing the violin even though you're terrible at it?
No, because I played it for a little bit and I learned that I did not want to do that, and that might have been where I could have had some grit and stuck with it a little bit more, but I stuck with it for a year, I think. And I just was like, yeah, I'm not making this violin make the beautiful noise like people do. It's just squeaking at me.
Dying cats.
Dying cats. But I love the sound of like a violin or a cello, and I realize like how difficult it is to make that instrument make that noise.
Yeah.
I love it.
An example for me in my life, I love playing basketball. Right now, at this moment, I'm pretty terrible at basketball because I haven't played enough. Like, I'm not the kind of person, and I'm jealous of these people. If you're one of those people, I'm very jealous of you, who can go with like years without playing basketball and go pick up a basketball and be right where you were before, at whatever skill level you are. Maybe you tapered off a little bit. I go cataclysmically off a cliff if I don't play for a couple months. I have to like start from way, way, way back, and I have to work at it, and then I get pretty decent. I'll never be great. I'm only 6'1", 2". I'm not going to be an awesome basketball player, but I love it. So if somebody said stop playing basketball because you suck at it, I'd say no, but I love it, and I'm not bad at it. I just don't have time to play it. And so there's a self-awareness there in me where I had to know, like, I can only put so much time into this. Don't beat myself up over it when I'm not the best. Don't get jealous of other people when they're better than me. But if I want to get better at it, I can get better at it because I'll have more fun if I'm better at it.
There you go.
But I have the permission to quit and go try archery because I might even be better at archery. Like, if somebody told me, you shouldn't quit basketball, you gotta keep trying, I think there's something flawed in there, right?
Yeah.
Is that an example?
Yeah.
Simon Cowell came up. Other examples
Oh, I guess we didn't
school.
necessarily talk about like how.
It came up in grades, like other kids talking about how they didn't have 4.0, didn't have straight A's, or man, I'm always just really bad in math, and my dad wants me to be great in math. Well, come on, Dad, they're not good in math. They don't even like math. They like English. They like science. They like physical education. They like the violin. What do they love? And so, no, I shouldn't get an F in math. I should at least get a C or a B. But to demand that every kid gets an A in math, It goes back to a couple episodes ago about like the
Uh-oh.
80%, right? How much effort is it going to take me who doesn't like math, oh, I actually like math, but somebody who doesn't like math and isn't good at math to go from a C to a B when they could be pouring that extra energy into the subject that they're great at and love, right? And it seems weird to tell students like, well,
That's what
don't
I'm
try
thinking.
harder at that, but I think that's part of it. Like, it really is a real theme. Isn't it?
Interesting. I'm curious.
What do you, like, at what point do we tell, so if Sarah was, really bad at whatever, like if we had her play soccer and she's really terrible at soccer and hates soccer,
Okay.
do we tell her to keep playing?
No.
What about in school now?
So in school, so I'm actually.
Is school different than extracurricular?
So I'm actually thinking about school. So back to when I was in school, I wasn't very good at math. And I remember I failed second grade math. But that was also because I needed glasses and I couldn't see the board. So once I got glasses.
It's not because you couldn't do math.
It's not because I couldn't do math. But then when I got to, I think it was early high school, I could not, for the life of me, figure out algebra. And so I had to go to a tutoring place and get tutored in algebra just because I wasn't cutting it and I needed to at least pass. I needed to at least know the basic knowledge of it. And then once I got the extra help, I was fine. And actually when it came to teaching math was where I excelled at teaching math because I had struggled in math, and so I knew different ways to look at math to help kids do it. So, I mean, I had to struggle through it. I had to just get past. I wasn't expecting myself to get straight A's, but it was like, score, I got a B.
Yeah, and there's something really, I get that there's something, and it's for me too, that there's something empowering when you struggle at something you're terrible at and then get not terrible.
Yes.
But to layer the expectation on that you can't quit until you're excellent is even out of their range.
Yeah.
Like,
So I guess
you're never going to be excellent.
So a way to think about it, like I knew, like I'm not going to calculus, like I'm not doing all the advanced math. I'm gonna do whatever I need to know to survive life with math and to get through school, to get to the college I wanted to go to. But I was doing this sounds funny to admit, but like I just did the bare minimum of what I needed to do. So. And
then poured that energy over into, was it a conscious effort of like, okay, this is me self-aware and not good at math. Now this is where I pour into.
So then I did like, so language arts is what I was better in, and then I did like theater and drafting. Yeah. Architecture. That never happened.
Did somebody kill your dream? You brought up the idea of killing dreams. And I had a student say that to me one time. Well, if we say that to kids, aren't we killing their dreams? Like telling them that they're not good at something? And I would say, hold on. I'm not telling anybody, and I don't want anybody to tell me that I'm not good at something, but I do want them to ask and teach me to be aware if I'm not good at something. Although I guess Simon Cowell does tell people they're not good at things, and there is a place for that as well. But then I'm not going to tell people to stop doing something.
I actually, now that you say it, killing my dream, I loved architecture as a kid. Like I would design cities, I would design homes, I would look at floor plan books. And I said that and I still love it. And I said growing up that I wanted to be an architect. And then at one point I remember my mom saying, you need to know a lot of math to be able to be an architect. And I wasn't good at math. But I don't think she said like, you suck at math, you can't be an architect. I think it was in our discussion of like, how are you going to get through these classes that are math classes? And she just brought it up. And then I was self-aware to know like, if I really am not good at math and you need calculus or whatever you need to get to be an architect, then maybe I'm not good at that. And then I realized like I don't want to do all that math that's involved. I just like looking at the fun little floor plans. Maybe I should be a real estate agent, but I'm a teacher.
Yeah.
So then my classroom set up the floor plan of my class, I would always draw, like, this is where the desks go, this is, yeah, it's fun. Anyways.
That's great.
That totally feels off topic, but
Yeah.
there you go.
So 2 questions then. What if you really love it, but you suck at it?
Well, I mean, you've got to find what you're good at in life and what you really enjoy. Or if it brings you joy, then just struggle through it and
Yeah.
you want to. But then if there's things in life where like you just suck and you're being forced to do it, maybe don't.
I guess maybe we need to separate and teach our kids to separate vocation from free time. And maybe sometimes your free time you get good at it and it can turn into vocation. But to teach them like, okay, you may love that, but you can't make money. You might not be able to make money doing that, right? And teach them that. What are you good at that you could make money doing? And then like, what if you suck at something but need to be good at it? I guess would be the follow-up question. Like for math, you needed to be good at it, but you sucked at it, and so you had to like
I didn't
have the conversation of getting. You had holes you had to fill in.
I guess.
And you needed to get to a certain level, and so just being okay with having that conversation,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
even like teaching our kids to have that conversation with themselves.
Well, and I knew that I wasn't good at math. Like, I sat there and I would try, and I wasn't good at math. I struggled through it and got better. So yeah, just being aware of like, I'm not that, and when my mom kind of talked it through with me, it did help to know like, so it's kind of true. That may not be the best choice for me.
So, all said, we certainly don't want to have the answers here. That's very clear, right? But I think we would hate to see us stop teaching grit because it is so lacking in so many of us, right? We just need to keep learning to try hard, especially our students. But then I think what we're saying is let's round it out with also teaching us how to quit and when to quit. Like, when is the right time to quit the right things? Because we only have so much time, and there's an opportunity cost with trying hard for that extra percent just to get to, slightly above average, when we could spend that same amount of time in doing something that we would love to be gritty in, right? And so I think, how can we do both is the conversation. So our conversation for the day: what is something that you have quit doing, and how did it feel? Share that down in the comments, and we'll talk about how we quit, and we'll learn from each other. So thanks for being here, and keep being awesome.